Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Yarnflakes Podcast. My name is Audrey. I am a knitwear designer, and this is a podcast all about my yarny creations from the southwest of France. Thank you so much for joining me for this new episode. I hope you are all doing well. I am, sort of. I just... Why do you do this? I just got attacked by some bugs crashing on my window. Anyway, hello! I hope you are okay. I have an episode all about little things. Today I have quite a few small projects to share with you. Some pattern releases, some that I will show you, some that I will just talk about and present to you as they were published in a magazine. I also have some a little teeny tiny finished project, a new design in progress, and I also want to talk a little bit about spinning at the end of the episode. So yeah, lots of little messy things which I hope you will enjoy. And I'm going to start right away with what I am wearing. I am wearing the Palmire cardigan, which is one of my designs that was published in February. And it's a cardigan with fun constructions. Basically, it has this lace panel here, and then the rest of the cardigan is knitted sideways. And yeah, I've been wearing it a lot, and it's a design that has been published in February and it's available everywhere. So yeah, I'm gonna start. You can find timestamps to all the different sections of the podcast in the description down below. So if you want to skip anything, feel free to look at this and jump ahead. I also put links to everything that I talk about, as well as my social media and my patterns for sale on different web shops. So, okay. I want to start with a mohair bit that is like puncturing my arm. I want to start with, oh god, pattern releases. I just released a new accessory duo, so to say. Yeah, I have just put online the Griottes set. So you have this cowl for starters. So it's a really simple cowl that you just cast on here and knit in the round, and it features this really simple cable design. They're really just 2x2 cable with these bubbles at the center of the diamond shape, and they are the bubbles that I always do, the really simple bubbles that you don't have to go back and forth, and there is a video tutorial for this in the pattern. So it's a really simple cowl. The pattern also tells you how to adapt the width of the cowl. Mine was a little too big, and so I need to fix this because I had to remove a bit of it. And so in the pattern you have a basic measurement that is indicated, but you basically just have to cast on as many repeats as you want. It's a 16 stitch repeat, and yeah, it's really a simple pattern. The only thing is that since the pattern is all in the round, basically at the beginning of one of the rows, two of the rows actually, you just need to make a cross over the beginning of the round. So the pattern in the chart indicates that. And yeah, it's a really simple cable project. As you can tell, it's just 2x2 cables. And I do want to say, if you have never knitted cables without a cable needle, I highly recommend that you try this, because I often read people that say that they don't like knitting cables because they don't like handling the cable needle because it bothers them, or because it creates some physical issue for them. And or I hear people say that to knit cables you need a cable needle. No, you don't. You really don't. Like, unless it's some massive cable. Like, I think throughout all the cable projects I ever did, I only needed a cable needle like for 2 cables. One was 12 stitches and the other one was a rather complicated, I think it was 7 stitches, but then you had one that needed to be in between and it was tiny twisted stitches. So it's very rare that you really need a cable needle to work a cable. And I highly encourage you, if you've never tried it, to just look up. There are many tutorials online to see how to knit a cable without a cable needle. There are different ways to do it. And if you can just find one that suits you, it's a great improvement in the cable knitting skill. And it also makes it more intuitive. And I think it really teaches you how to read your knitting and how to read cable charts, because cable needle instructions, they will tell you put stitches on the cable needle and hold in front or in back of the work. And you need to make the connection that in front means that the cable is going to go left and that in back that the cable is going to go right. And it's also a bit awkward because in one case the stitches on the cable needle are going to be in the forefront, and on the other case the cable needle is actually holding the stitches that are going to be hidden. So it's a little bit of a stretch. Whereas if you make the cables without a cable needle, well, what you see is just that you just look at the cable that you're supposed to do, a symbol if you're reading a chart, and it tells you go left. So you're like, oh, okay. You take your stitches and you put them to the left or to the right, and that's it. And to me, it just makes a more clear, how can I say? It's just a bit clearer, basically. It's just a shortcut into understanding what the instructions look like and what your knitting look like. It's a bit more straightforward, in my opinion. And so I think learning to knit cables without a cable needle, it's very easy, and it also kind of improve in a way your knitting ability, in the sense that you're more easily able to read it. So, and especially when it's such simple cables like this, there is really no problem at all not using a cable needle. So yeah, this is knit in decay weight yarn. I used Laine des Îles Pennine, which is 100% BFL yarn. So Laine des Îles is a French web shop, but they do ship to Europe and maybe elsewhere as well, I think. They have a really nice range of British and Scandinavian yarns, and they also made their own yarn, which I presented to you a few months ago, because they sent some of it for free to me. They sent 2 skins so I could try it out and give my thoughts on it. Like, they didn't ask me to review or anything, but just, yeah. And so, yeah, it's 100% BFL worsted spun. I really like it. It's really good. I bought some more to make these designs. And I recommended it to a bunch of people because I think it's really versatile. It has a great stitch definition and the beautiful drape of BFL. It's a really round, plump decay weight, and it comes in a lot of nice colorways. This is the colorway Style in French, which I will not say because it sounds very suspicious in English, the way in French we say seal. Seal like the seal, the animal. And so yeah, it's just a really nice light grey. And I just really like how it shows the cable. And yeah, so it's my sample is rather loose. And like I said, I made it too big from the start. And in the pattern, we shrinked it a little bit. And you can see that some of my testers made it even smaller. But yeah, this is how it ends up being. If I can just whip. And yeah, so this is Griottes. And it is available on Ravelry, Payhip, and Lovecraft, and through Ravelry it is, as usual, 15% off. for the release. So I will keep it up until Wednesday, I think. I'm recording this in advance, so I'm a little bit trying to plan ahead, trying to figure out which days are which. So yeah. It is 15% off with the code Griottes. In any case, you have all the details and all the links in the description and on the Ravelry page for this discount. And yeah, it's just a fun little quick knit accessory. And if you want to try your hand at the motif, but you don't want a full cowl yet, well, gotcha covered, because I made a headband. I don't know what was up with me this winter, but I really wanted to make matching headbands. So I already did the ocean-born scarf and headband. These are designs that I released in January, which are fully cabled. And yeah, when I was making the cowl, I just wanted to make the headband. And so this is the Griottes headband. So it's knitted flat, and basically you start it here. So you knit flat, you knit this same triangular diamond shape thingy with the bubbles. It has a garter stitch edge here, just to be cute and knit. And it is completely adjustable to any head circumference. The pattern tells you how much negative ease you should want. And here you can adjust. Basically, at the back of the head, you just have this very simple rib and cable, and the pattern tells you to just knit this longer or shorter depending on your desired length. So you can just really adjust it to any length that you want, and then once you finish the back portion, you just repeat this again on the other side. You bind off, and then you create the twist. And the twist is a really easy thing. It's a seam that you have to do. I filmed a video tutorial in the pattern, so you can see exactly how to create this. It's really simple. It's just that you need to visually see it to understand. Basically, you are folding the edges in a sandwich, sort of like this, and then you're seaming through. And this creates the twists, but the video is available in the pattern, basically. And there you have a headband. I'm gonna try and put it on. Oh no, I put it to the side. Well, it's look very vintagey. And yeah, so the diamond shape is on the sides here. And yeah, on my on the Ravelry page, you can see that my testers project, they made the cowl a little bit more snug, or they were able to make it even looser depending on the yarn that they used and how many stitches they cast on. And for the headband, some of them used variegated yarns, some of them used fingering weight. So the thing is, since the length is adjustable, you can do whatever you want, and the width does not change that much if you use fingering weight. And yeah, this is how it looks like. And if you want to get both of them, basically, if you buy both the cowl and the headband will be 50% off. So they are available separately, but yeah, automatically, if you have bought the cowl, you will get the headband half price. You can do both discounts. So if you want to get the cowl with the release discount of 15% and the headband, just buy them separately. Because if you put both of them in your Ravelry cart and you try to use the two promotions, it does not work. Ravelry will just choose one promotion over the other. And so that is wrong. But if you first buy the cowl with the 15% discount and then buy the headband will be 50% off. It will work this way. So yeah, just keep in mind, if you want to get both, just make sure that you get them separately if you are using the discount for the cowl release in the first few days of the release, if you're watching this soon enough. I will try to refund people who do the mistake, but yeah, it's just a little bit of work. So if you can just if you see that it's not working, that is why you need to separate them if you want to use both discounts. And besides that, once the cowl will not be on a release sale, the headband will always be 50% off because it's a set, basically. So that's how it works. Voilà. I think that's it. I think that's it. And I said everything. And yeah, I hope you like them, the little bubbly, cabley accessory. And I promise I will stop putting bubbles everywhere someday. But yeah, I can move on to another design that I don't physically have to show you because it was published in a magazine. It was published in the newest Making Stories. So Making Stories, if you don't know, it was founded in Germany by Annalisa Haferkamp, and it is also now she's now also working with Claire Walls, I think her name is. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, this is the 5th issue of their magazine, and they have a focus on sustainability and using natural, non-superwash local yarns, and they have a theme for this magazine, which was nature, but nature on a really close-up, analytical sort of detailed level, sort of the structures of leaves when you look at them very up close and those sort of things. And I'm very happy to have a design in this. And since I'm cheating because my name starts with an A, you can see me right here. And the collection is really beautiful. I have designed a shawl, which is the Molecule shawl, which is a fingering weight shawl with a knit pearl texture, sort of like double stitched, and a dropped stitch border, as you can see here. So it's a fairly simple shawl to work, and basically we have used Maison Corlene's BFL Gotland base. So Maison Corlene, if you don't know, they are one of my favorite dyers. I have worked with them quite a bunch of times. They are French indie dyer, and they focused on non-superwash specific blends of yarn, and so they have this BFL Gotland fingering weight base, which is really beautiful. It's drapey and it has the character of Gotland, which I really love. And this is the Saoirse Irish names, Saoirse colorway, I think that's how you pronounce it, and it's this really luscious green, and you can see it has the shine of the Gotland. So it's an asymmetrical triangular shawl, so you start at the tip, you set up the border, and then you just keep increasing on one edge. So you can basically use however many yarn you want, make it bigger or smaller. And we used 2 skeins, and you can sort of see the size that it makes. So yeah, that's it. That's it. So the magazine is available to purchase from Making Stories, and it's also available on certain retailers. So I have seen, like, I think Maison Corlene has it in their shop, and I have seen some other shops that have it as well. There is a little errata for my design. Unfortunately, there's been a little hiccup with the charts, and if you look at the Ravelry page, that's the thing that we should always do. Look at the Ravelry page, because I always forget to do that, but sometimes there is corrections that we need to check. And so on the Ravelry page, you have a link that brings you to Making Stories website, where you have the correct chart B. Basically, chart B is wrong in the pattern printed in the magazine. It's a duplicate of chart C, but it should be different. if you do try and knit it, you will soon notice that it's not working. But yeah, that's because chart B is wrong, and you have the correct chart B on Making Stories website that you can access to with that link through the Ravelry page. You can also have written instructions. Basically, you have a link to download them from Making Stories website as well, if you prefer to work from written instructions. So yeah, just little hiccups, things that happen with printing things. And it's a bit funny because the exact same thing happened to me with a French book that I have a design published into. It's not as problematic on that book because the charts were the same, just reversed, so you can read them backwards. Whereas here it's just the wrong chart. But yeah, it seems I have a curse where my charts are being duplicated. So yeah, it's a bit funny. But yeah, things happen. And yeah, the collection is really pretty. I know people are going to ask, if you are not interested in getting the magazine, the pattern will be available individually in a few months. It will be. But I just wanted to show you some of the other designs in there because I really love a bunch of them. First, I really like this colorwork yoke. It's Lamina, and it was designed by Jennifer Brow. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I'm sorry. But yeah, I really like this yoke. I think it's really original. And I really like the Twisted Vines sweater as well, which is a design from Joan Forgione. Hope I'm not butchering that again. And it's the sweater with twisted stitch detail on the sleeves and this very delicate v-neck. I didn't notice it had that really. I don't know, I found it very fine and very nice. And the motif on the sleeve is absolutely beautiful. Really like this one. And then I think my favorite of the issue is a design by Marguerite, which is another French designer, Marianne. And there's another design here from Madeleine Renard, which I didn't know her before, and she designed some really cute mittens. But when I saw the... is that really her name, Madeleine Renard? Because that's brilliant if it is. It literally means Madeleine and Fox Lady, if that is. I don't know if it is. I don't know. It's very cute. I wish I had that cool of a name. Though my name means lamb in Spanish. So I guess there's that. You should be able to pronounce my name because there's in California, I think, there are some springs which are called exactly like me. So I think there's a festival as well there, like normally, like a music festival. I don't know. I considered just going and ask for free entry because, you know, anyway, I'm joking. Anyway. When Making Stories sent the testnet for the testnet call for this issue, I noticed the Yoki sweater from Marianne Marguerite, and it's absolutely stunning. I really like it. It's knitted in De Rerum Natura Ulysses, and I just really, really like this twisted stitch motif. It's really beautiful. And another design which I love is the other shawl in this issue. It's the Foglier shawl by Courtney Spainhauer, and it's a proper triangular shawl, and I just love it. I found it so striking. I really like the texture of it. It's I don't know, it's simple, but at the same time it's sort of like a bubbly slipped stitches thing. I find it really beautiful. So yeah, this is sort of an overview of the designs that I really like in this issue. So yeah, I'm happy to have been working with Making Stories. I have another design coming with them for their autumnal issue. And yeah, I understand that at the beginning of their publication, they they had very different clauses and working conditions for designers, and it seems that they have done a complete flip. And so I only know the now version of how they work with designer, and I think they made a blog post explaining all the changes that they done. And so yeah, as now it went really well. I think I mentioned it in autumn, I'm not sure, but basically as a designer, when you're working with publication, it needs to be balanced between the rights that you give away, and because you're losing money basically you're winning less giving rights to a publication rather than if you were selling them on your own. At least that's my case, and I'm not like some huge designer, so it's already a thing. So it needs to be a balance between this, the rights that they pay, and the way they organize the work so that it's efficient, and so basically what they take care of. And in the case of making stories, I appreciate that we have so much time, because that's really unique. Basically you have more than 6 months to make your sample and patterns, which is quite the rare thing, and that's really pleasant because they're well organized. You know exactly what you have to do. They also completely take care of the testnet. Basically, I have no connection with the testnet. Well, if there's a problem, they're gonna ask me to help, but I don't have to handle that, which is really comfortable because you can work really efficiently, and that's just a nice way to do things. And for me, it worked, and yeah, I'm quite happy with that. And yeah, like I said, I will also have a little thing in the cover. Sweater is also really nice. I will also have a little thing in their autumnal issue. And so yeah, this was the Molecule shawl and the magazine in which it's published. Moving on to some knits that I have, other small knits. Scrunchie. I knitted a scrunchie. I have finished my poo poo scrunchie, which is a design from Sari Nordland, and it was really fun. It was really small, different projects, and I think it's kind of like the people who really like knitting toys, for example, or crocheting toys. It's just fun to have something with a unique construction that is a bit funny and smart, and it's just really cool. So basically you make the bow if you want, bow. Someone in my last episode, someone told me it was funny how I was struggling with that word, and that they were they came from Australia to France, and so they were having similar issues pronouncing French. And yeah, I know. The thing is, French has some typical sounds that if you get them wrong, it's very wrong. Basically, it's not understandable, but it can be very wrong, and so it's difficult. It's the nasal, like the on, like very very difficult for foreigners to pronounce. I know that. My boyfriend is always like, no, you're literally calling me a female dog if you say that, and things like this. Yeah, it's also basically you're always saying Jeanne d'Arc wrong, just FYI. But yeah, a bow, same problem. See, difficult. The thing here. So you start here with some stitches, you increase, you knit this, you decrease, you knit this portion, which is the one where you make the knot, and then you do the same thing in reverse. Then, for the actual scrunchie, you provisionally cast on a bunch of stitches, which I don't like provisional cast on. I just find it a bit fiddly, and especially here since it was on small needles. Although Sari Nordlund in the pattern, she gives a tutorial for the provisional cast on, which I found quite interesting. It's similar to Judy's Magic cast on, in the sense that, you know, the one that you can use for toe-up socks. You sort of make a figure 8 cast on 2 needles, so that you have 2 sets of stitches on 2 needles. It's similar, but instead of having a second needle, you have a piece of scrap yarn. And it was quite interesting, and it worked well. Definitely one of the least fiddly provisional cast-ons. And so yeah, you knit a little rectangle like this, and then you fold it over, trapping an elastic band in between. So you need an elastic band, obviously, one that's about 5 centimeter diameter, and then you graft the 2 ends together. You can see how I grafted it, because it's not completely even. And then you have a scrunchie, and you can attach the bow thingy. Bow. It sounds like I'm saying bowsy buns. Difficult. And you attach the thing. Just the thing. And yeah, I really like scrunchies with things. I have a lot of them, like just fabric ones. But I actually never knitted one, and I just think it's cute and it works well. And it sort of looks like a pacifier if I'm holding it like this. And yeah, I used leftovers yarns from La Bien-Aimée Helix, which is their BFL Gotland based, in the Emmeline colorway. And I held it together with long lace mohair yarn in a very, very similar colorway. And it's just really cute. And yeah, it was lots of fun. Quick knit. And yeah. Work in progress now. So I have finished something, which I cannot show you. Maybe I'm gonna take pictures of it now in a bit once I finish recording. And so I have started a new design, another summer design, which is going to be my like simple knit of the year. I always try to have a very basic garment that is a little bit easier to design for me, so that I can have it at a lower price point. Yeah, last year it was Juni, the year before that it was Nausicaa. And basically they're simple because mostly they're stockinette, and also because I'm not fussing so much with things if it's just a basic stockinette thing. And basically, a couple of years ago, I bought this yarn, which is Landlust Summerside. I bought it from the Filati website, which is the one that stocks Lana Grossa. And I just was really intrigued by this yarn because it's 50% cotton and 50% silk. And I just thought this was an interesting combination because I find cotton a bit too heavy. And so I thought that mixing it with silk might bring some lightness to it. And so I bought 2 balls. It's a sportwear yarn. It has 170 meters to 50 grams. I bought 2 balls of the beige and 2 balls of this navy blue. And I want to make a reversible tank top. So basically one side is going to be this and one side is going to be this, and you're going to be able to wear it whichever way, which means no bust shaping unless you actually want that. And also I want to switch you could make it in just one color, because basically the reversible element is also going to be on the neckline. One side is going to have a rather round neckline, and the other side is going to have a V-neck, which is going to be a normal V-neck that is not too deep. Basically, it's going to be like here. And so that's the plan for this very basic tank top. And I started working on one side, so it's going to be knitted flat, because no point working in tarsia in the round. And also, I want to have a long split hem, basically. So you're going to knit one side flat, attach the shoulders and with the other side, and then you're going to seam the body. And I want to leave a rather long split hem. So this is how it's going to go. I just started by knitting a little garter hem, and then I'm onto the stockinette body with some garter edges that are going to be on the sides here, and a slip stitch edge, because I just find that seaming with slipped stitches just much easier for me when it's a straight line. And yeah, it's very simple, very basic. And the fabric is absolutely lovely. I really like that mix. It's just so drapey and so light. It's gonna be very pleasant to wear, I think. So yeah, if you're like me and you don't quite like cotton usually, maybe try to look for something with silk, because it's just really, really drapey and very, very light. So yeah, it's gonna be very straightforward, and I plan to release it in June. So hopefully, hopefully that happens, right? I do want to make something here on the edges. I'm not so sure. I think I'm gonna finish them with a night cord, but I want to put like a little fake eyelet thingy here. Not fake eyelet, but like a little really small bit of lace here, like a really basic thing. I'll see how that works. But yeah, this is one side. The blue side for me is gonna be the round neck side, I think, which is the one I'm primarily going to wear on the front. So yeah, we'll see how that works. But yeah, I'm on a really basic knit, which is a nice change from all the lace and cables. And yeah, I think that is it for all the knitting related stuff. I do want to talk a little bit about spinning, because I have been spinning quite a few, and I just wanted to show you a little bit the skeins that I have finished. So if you don't remember, I have been spinning on a wheel since the beginning of the year, and previously on the Yarnflakes podcast, Audrey was spinning way too thin and it was ridiculous. So Audrey is trying to spin a little thicker, and that is difficult because it makes for very uneven, not very uneven, for a little bit uneven spinning, but it's okay, I think. So for example, this is a pure BFL fiber from Laine de Joie, which is the French dyer, and I absolutely love the colors. Really, really beautiful. I didn't arrange them in any way, I just went ahead and spun. And it's a 2-ply, and as you can see, the thickness is right, because the twist is exactly like I want it. It's like, it's twirly and it's well put together, and that is what I want. But to get this, I need to spin a decent thickness. And as you can sort of see, in some places I'm going a bit thicker. Yeah, BFL is okay, but since like they're not pulling apart as easily, basically it's always the thing that when you're spinning, at some point you're gonna have a blurb that's gonna go and be a bit catchy. And yeah, basically I'm not making the effort to go stop and fix those areas, because who cares? I think if I'm spinning, like, I'm not trying to get something perfect. And I really like the result of this one. This one was good. This one was good. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I think that the way I want to use my handspun yarn is either, if the fiber is appropriate, I will make socks, and if not, I want to insert it for color work or some contrast color in shawls and things like this. I think this is what I want to use my handspun for. And I also spun this, which is a Gotland yarn. This is part of Les Petites Potions Fiber Club. So she has a monthly club for the year where you can choose different fibers. And this is the February club, and the fiber was Gotland. And Gotland is if you could make cables pop with Gotland, which is not that great, it would be my favorite fiber. Like, let's say I would only knit colorwork, some small textures, stockinette and lace, then yes, I would say Gotland is my favorite fiber. But yeah, it doesn't do cables so well for me. That's not the way I prefer cables to look. But in any case, I really love Gotland. It's like this really beautiful sheen to it, and it's like all airy, and the color is more like this. It's like a really dark burgundy with blacks. It was dyed on grey Gotland, basically. And yeah, this was easier to spin than I thought. And the thing is, Gotland, with all the hairiness it has, and since it blooms a lot, it blooms incredibly. It's really forgiving. So it's really forgiving when you knit with it, but it's also forgiving when you spin it, because even if it's not super regular, it still looks pretty decent because the fiber is just that way, I guess. And I just made a 2-ply again, really simple. And yeah, so I'm getting each club from Les Petites Potions, which is a French indie dyer that lives nearby. She's my friend Deborah. And basically every month you get to choose between either yarn, any type of yarn you want, and in the fiber club, you either get specific fiber for the month, so it's going to change every month, or you get a standard merino nylon. And for March, I got the merino nylon because the fiber of the month was mohair, and I was like, I don't want mohair. And so I just got the merino nylon one. So this was the March club, and I'm going to spin this next. And the themes of the clubs are pastries and cakes. And so this was a red velvet, and this is a lemon and blueberries cupcake. And yeah, it's so fitting. It really looks like watercolor. Absolutely lovely. And yeah, I just took the merino nylon for this one because I'm going to make socks with it, probably. And so yeah, this is what I have spun. This is what I'm going to spin next. This is what I'm currently spinning. Not my greatest work. This is a fiber from Regenbogenwolle, which is a German dyer. And basically she does stunning colorways in bases that are really interesting. And so this was a blend of merino, camel, silk, and linen. It's written in German, and so I'm like, which is quite the mix. And this was the Pirate's Gold colorway, and beautiful shades of the green, which was the silk, the rust, which was the linen, and then some gold and some blue. Really, really nice. As you can see, pretty messy, pretty bad, for several reasons. The main one is that I don't know why I did that, but I spun it on a smaller ratio while still trying to get the thicker yarn. So it's a bit overspun for one. Well, not terribly, but a bit more than what I usually had. So I was a bit unsettled. I don't know why I did that. No clue. And also, it just didn't, it didn't go well. The thing is, it has linen, right? So the vegetable matter and the silk, it's just a bit harder to blend it. And so, yeah, when I was spinning, like some blurbs of silk and linen was just coming out. And so it makes a little bit of a messy, you can see a bit of linen here. It just doesn't go in, and it makes a texture, which is really interesting. But yeah, definitely not my best spin. I don't know. I wasn't in the right mood, I guess, for this fiber. But it's it's beautiful and interesting. So I made all of it into a single, and I'm going to chain ply it basically all together. Yeah, this is the plan. I'm probably going to do it soon. I am not knitting on my personal projects at the moment because arm hurts. Well, it's not fully into tendinitis. How do you say it? The golfer's elbow thingy, or the tennis elbow, more like it. Isn't it the same one? Anyway, yeah, not able to go weightlifting, and so hey, problems happen. But yeah, it's if you already had these sort of problems, you know that it's coming. Basically, you can feel it getting tired, and so I started to feel it a little bit. So I decided to just sit back a little bit on the knitting, so that I can still knit for work, basically, but not knit 12 hours a day, basically, because then basically I'm knitting for work and then I want to knit on my personal project, and so it's like, oh. So I'm not doing that at the moment. So basically my poor colorwork blanket is taking a stop. But this means that I'm able to work on some other projects, like spinning, like embroidery and things, and reading a lot, even though I usually knit and read at the same time. So I'm a little bit... I've been taking a lot of baths. So I'm like, well, since I can't knit and read, what can I do when I'm reading? So I'm either biking, I'm exaggerating, obviously. I spend a lot of time just reading, but sometimes I read when I'm working out on my bike, and I read when I'm taking a bath. Because if not, I'm like, But yeah, less knitting for now until I can actually make that arm work again. But been baking a lot as well, which is a bit contradictory, because it still hurts my arm, but it's just in a different way. So yeah, just taking it a little bit slower on the personal projects, so you might not see a lot of progress on those in the few podcasts. But hey, this is how things goes. And yeah, I think that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you are doing well. And yeah, I wish you a very good rest of the day. I will see you again probably at the end of the month. Yeah, I'm gonna have several things coming up this month. So yeah, just maybe keep an eye on Instagram and on Ravelry if you like lace socks. But yeah, if not, I will come back and yeah, talk to you again at the end of the month. And until then, have a lovely time. Take care. Bye.